Hi, my name is Lindsay Janes and I am a science, tech, and physics teacher at Crescent Collegiate. This is my experience with deep learning and ungrading in the STEM classroom, how my observations connect with some research and literature. When school shut down in the spring of 2020, I found myself with time to give serious consideration to what my students needed. I wondered what really worked for them prior to the pandemic and what could be done better, virtual or in person, to help my students strive for more in their learning experiences. I dove into research and started asking some tough questions with the support of my administration and an NLESD mentor, Nikki O'Brien McDonald. Nearing the end of my Master's of Education in Curriculum, Teaching, and Learning Studies with a focus in science and math, professionals in the field were emphasizing the importance of universal design of learning, often known as UDL, and deep learning experiences. Deep learning experiences all involve and develop the 6 C's of global competencies, including character, citizenship, collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. Involving these components can be done through pedagogical practices, learning partnerships, leveraging digital, and by developing a culture of learning. So what does deep learning look like? The pillars for deep learning and universal design learning are quite similar. Their premise is set on differentiation of instruction for all students, usually in authentic base structures that have high ceiling, low floor solutions. The learning is meant to be motivated by student curiosity, ideally with student input. Teachers as facilitators let go of the power of being the all-knowing leader in the room and often get to learn alongside their students. When I am designing my lessons, I try to focus on activities my students might want to try if they were given choices, something like a science summer camp, while focusing the activities around the competencies they need to develop as people and learners. These next couple of slides show major highlights from my research. I began by researching the history of standardized practices as I needed to understand the whys and hows of schools functioning as they do. I then moved into the challenging questions of the pros and cons of its organization. The major takeaway was that feedback is imperative and that grades with or without feedback are counterproductive in motivating and engaging our students. For those interested in the complete details of my research, you can find a copy of my paper linked to the end of this presentation. When educators dive into deep learning, they will likely find that standardized assessments do not fit unstandardized instruction and seek alternatives. Self and peer assessment, portfolios, contract grading, and conferencing are some of the methods in which teachers can track and express student progress honoring the 6 C's. Ideally, to develop metacognition, autonomy in learning, and the growth mindset, students will be able to work alongside their teachers to develop success criteria for their learning so that all parties are clear on the purpose and outcomes of their tasks. As in any long-standing system, change can be challenging. Society may not see the downfalls to standardized schooling on the surface, and when parents send their children to schools, they have an image in their minds of what to expect. Amongst those images are usually students sitting in rows of desks, grades, testing, and report cards. The student engagement issue we often see as students move into junior high and high school can start to be addressed with deep learning and unstandardized assessment. With more motivation comes improved learning experiences, attitudes, development of the 6 C's. Without the extrinsic motivator of numeric grades, students are more likely to take academic risks and push their perceived limits. The process of self-discovery could be much deeper at the grade school level this way, leaving students feeling more accomplished and more successful. No need to take my word for it, though. Take a look at what some of my students from the past school year have to say about our first endeavors into deep learning and unstandardized grading practices.
I like the way that this class is taught so much more than every other class I have, because it's more of a different way of looking at things. It's not just, oh, here's a test, do this, then, you know, work for the next test. It's like you're actually like obtaining the information rather than cramming it, then putting it on the test and then forgetting about it.